Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is James Ramos at the quarter pole. And here's my second segment of horses to watch for this summer for the Breeders' Cup. And news report today will be a national treasure. He just won the Met Mile at 1 mile. He just ran a workout at 6/8 of a mile at 1:11.4. Now he's going to be probably cross-entered in both the Breeders' Cup Mile and also the Breeders' Cup Classic. I'm not sure which way Bob Baffert's going to lean, but I think either way, this horse has a really good chance of winning. I would prefer the mile. I think that maybe a mile and 1/4 might be too short. I could be wrong since he won the Pegasus World Cup at a mile and 1/8, and Senior Buscador that came out second out of that race ran and won the Saudi World Cup, third also the Dubai World Cup. Arabian Night is another horse that Bob Baffert has ready for the Breeders' Cup Classic. He would be also probably cross-entered both the Classic and the Breeders' Cup Dirt. Again, Arabian Night looks like he's better suited for the mile, considering he's got that really good genuine speed. I consider Arabian Night speed a little bit faster than National Treasure. I could be wrong, but he's the up and coming horse. Might also lean up to the Breeders' Cup Classic. He ran a 5 furlong work at 59 flat right now. I know it's early, ladies and gentlemen, but Bob Baffert's holding a lot of bullets in his holster today when it comes to the Breeders' Cup Classic being a Down Mar home track, and he has a lot to prove. He's really got a lot of scores to settle, considering he wasn't allowed to run his horses in the Kentucky Derby because the past substance abuse with Medina Spirit showing that Churchill doesn't want him around right now, and a lot of people are looking more down on him than on the positive side. But he's really looking good with two good horses for either the Breeders' Cup Mile or the Breeders' Cup Classic. The other horse to watch out for going forward would be Pretty Mischievous. That's the Brendan Walsh trained horse that has plenty talent, but doesn't seem to stay healthy that much. He came in third in La Trahine at Churchill Downs, ran into a slow pace. I don't take nothing away from that horse because he was coming off a first race off a layoff, but now he's going to probably be training in the spots or looking for a place to fit this horse. I'm not sure Brendan Walsh next outing for Pretty Mischievous would be, but he is leaning for the Breeders' Cup Distaff. He's probably going to run against the champion last year's champion, Idiomatic, and that's going to be one hoot of a race. Now, in my opinion, with a horse that doesn't seem to stay healthy all year round, plenty of talent, still doesn't seem to be healthy, I'm looking for double digits if I'm going to play this horse. If I'm looking less than 6-1, I would not play Pretty Mischievous. I'm more looking at 10-1, just in the lone fact that he doesn't stay well, that he might need a race during the Breeders' Cup Distaff. I'm not sure where he's going to be put to the test and where Brendan Walsh is going to put this horse. He might just bring this horse purely on workouts alone and just bring him up in the next 3.5 months for the Breeders' Cup Distaff. That's yet to be seen. That is just my opinion. That's yet to be seen. That is just my opinion. Horses also to watch for would be Charlie Appleby. He has a stable at Belmont Park. It was well noted that he was going to bring horse a little bit early. Cinderella's Dream won the Belmont Oaks. He's a decent looking animal. I'm not sure whether he's going to put him at the female Breeders' Cup turf race for younger fillies. I'm not sure yet. I'm not looking to see if he's going to put her in another race, but that'd be my logical guess. Also on the radar would be Aiden O'Brien. And the way I read through the news, Aiden O'Brien has set up City of Troy, won his last race out in Europe. And if you look at that race, it didn't look too impressive. He won under a length. He was hard ridden. He's going to be cross-entered in the Breeders' Cup Turf and also the Breeders' Cup Classic. The reason I mention this is because City of Troy was going to be put forward for 2 races at San Diego Park, and that either the 2 races going to be the California Crown. It used to be formerly known the Awesome Against Stakes. He might be running, and that's a definitely dirt race, or he might run the John Henry. Now, if Aiden O'Brien sticks with City of Troy, puts him in the Breeders' Cup Classic, stating basically Aiden O'Brien saying this is a weak field. I could win with this horse that runs permanently on the turf and bring out a conventional dirt track. As I stated, this is not Del Mar, it's not top of the track. It's not a pro ride. It's just a regular conventional dirt track. So I would say, if in my opinion, basically Aiden O'Brien saying this is a horrible, weak American field or international field in the Classic if you bring City of Troy to run in the Breeders' Cup Classic and not the turf. the turf makes more sense, but then people will state, well, why would it make more sense? But unfortunately, that also Aiden O'Brien has probably the best turf horse I've seen in a while, and that being Augusta Rodin. And he also trains that horse, and that Augusta Rodin will try to repeat as champion on the turf. I haven't seen the whole field, and the way I see his last race, I think he just deserves to be the favorite right now. More likely 3-1, 4-1. I haven't, like I said, that's early odds for me, 4 months away, but he did look impressive his last race. Other horses to mention for would be Rebels Romance. I'm not a big Rebels Romance kind of guy. He won 2 years ago. So a race, I believe, he ran a sword dancer out in New York. He dropped the rider. So it wasn't the horse fodder jockey. He just dropped the rider. So I'm not sure what kind of effort you're going to get for Rebels Romance. So what I'm hearing is training. He's working back into shape. We'll see how he does it down more and see what kind of works he's bringing up to this horse. And that's all I have for you today. This is James Ramos from At the Quarter Pole, where winners and history run neck and neck. Have a good evening, folks.